am I?
Oh, is it?
We're going.
Okay, yeah, we're going. This is
We're
it,
going.
boys.
This is the episode.
So how you been, man?
I have been pretty good. I
Yeah.
did this cool thing at work yesterday where I just sat in the break room for about 5 hours and then went home.
That
was
dude,
fun.
those days are the fucking best. The last time I was at the office, which I'll get to that. Like the power, no, the power didn't go out, but the internet went out for like the rest of the day, and like me and one of my friends just talked for the whole rest of the day, and like I didn't try and like go home and like do work. I was just like, yep, I'm chilling. It's good.
Yeah. It's for the best.
Yeah. Were you getting paid just to sit in the breaker?
Yeah. I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but
That's what you did.
yeah, it's like it's the end of the week. We have to like clean everything. And then
As you should at the candy factory.
Absolutely. You should definitely, like, we clean every day, but like the last day of the week we just like deep clean everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so normally that happens on Fridays, but nobody was working on Friday, and I work Thursday night, so they're like, all right, like you got to do all that. But normally on Fridays they leave like 4 hours early.
Yeah.
But I can't leave 4 hours early because it's the middle of the night.
Sure.
It's dangerous out there in the streets.
Yeah. You really, yeah. Well, because you don't have a car, right? You just take the bus.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to take the bus, and the bus is not running at that time.
That would be a little rough.
Yeah, so like I could call an Uber and spend like $30, and I'm like, that's not going to happen.
No.
That's
a video game.
Yeah, like I could just stay here and make well over $30.
Yeah.
So
you did.
So that's what I did. Yeah, I cleaned everything, and I'm like, oh, it's 1:00, and I finish at 6:30. So just gonna hang out. I just spent like 5 hours on TikTok in the break room. It was great.
That sounds really delightful.
Yeah, so now I'm relaxed.
That's good.
Yeah,
because we did not record. Normally for a little peek behind the curtain for the fans, normally record very early Friday morning. It's Saturday, not that early, because I was a wee bit out of it Friday morning when I woke up, and I needed to reschedule. So I guess I can get into how I've been handling this humanitarian crisis. Yeah. So yeah, for the folks at home, I live in Texas, which is in the South and normally very warm, but starting like Thursday, like prior to Valentine's Day, right? That Thursday-ish, it started getting very cold, and like at my office, we lost power, so I had to go home, and then I had the internet issue the next day on Friday. Saturday it was very, very cold. And then Sunday it started kind of snowing, but it was like the kind of snow where it's like going to be a real pain in the ass when it becomes time to melt, because it's going to just all be ice.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a nice fluffy snow. It's a bad snow.
Very familiar.
Yeah. Cause you live up in the great North.
Yeah.
And Texas is not exactly like equipped to handle any of what happened.
No, your houses like don't have insulation.
Well, I'm pretty lucky in that my apartment was built pretty old. Like, so I think it was built better than a modern apartment, because like I was in the 40s for the day I didn't have power. So Monday was fine. And then Monday night, right after I finished working, I lost power, and I said, well, thanks, I guess. And I played my Switch until the battery died, and then I went to bed. And I don't know at what time that happened, because I had no way to tell the time, because all my clocks are powered by batteries, and my phone was dead. So I spent some time, very alone with my thoughts, which is not good.
No,
I think anybody in this situation, just like being alone in the dark, not being able to do anything sucks. But like, y'all have listened to this, y'all know me to a degree. You know that wasn't great. And then Tuesday, I had the bright idea of charging my phone in my car. And I also went on like a little scouting expedition where I just got really bored and just walked around outside to see how bad the roads were. They were pretty bad. And then Tuesday, I got my power back, which was great. And I made a nice little feast for myself. It was very fun. And then I lost heat and water that
Two
night.
Big things.
The water has been... Famously, you need water to like survive and also to clean things and also to flush your toilet. So I haven't showered in like 4 days ish. I just recently,
disgusting. I can never do that.
Yeah. All my dishes are dirty, which has been a challenge. Luckily, I still have food and stuff, but
you've been like eating cereal out of a measuring cup.
I've just been eating cereal with my hands.
Fair enough.
Yeah, which I would do anyways, just as to be clear. This isn't a resource-saving measure. I'm just a piece of shit. What else? They say I don't have heat, but like I definitely have heat. So I don't know what the deal is. My apartment people were like, yeah, the heat and the water are connected. So if you don't have water, which we shut off water for everybody, then you don't have heat. And I'm like, well, like I know the heat's working because like I can feel it turn on and then it gets hot for a little bit. It doesn't work like well, but it is, working.
It exists.
So I don't know what that's all about. But I still don't have water. Like, 3.5, 4 days later. I broke my toilet. That was fun.
That's good.
Yeah. So the way I did that, this is a little plumbing tip from Coach. A little home ec, right? Home skills class. So the way toilets work, if you don't know, is that when you flush the toilet, it sends the water from the tank, which is the back part, assuming you have one of these and not like a gravity toilet. I don't know how the fuck that works. And the water goes into the toilet and then it fills up the water to a certain point until it goes over this trap thing, the little curvy pipe thing in the back. And then eventually when that happens, the water goes down, it creates a suction and sucks everything out of the bowl. And then it refills from the tank again. And that's how it works. And the thing is with ceramic, rapid temperature changes can cause it to crack. So if you are, say, melting snow on your stove, and you don't let it like cool all the way, and then you pour it into the tank, it will cause it to crack and then leak the water that you just poured in all over the floor, which is what I did. So don't do that. Smart
in theory.
And it's not even in my defense. The water was not that hot. Like it was warm, but I wouldn't say it was like extremely hot. You know what I mean? Like I put my hand in it and I was like, oh, this is warm water, but it's not like I couldn't put my hand in it.
I would not have thought that it would happen, even if the water was hot. I wouldn't. Like I know about the ceramic thing. I've had a cooking mishap before.
Right.
I've definitely shattered a casserole dish.
Really?
Yeah, in the sink.
Oh, because the water was too hot?
Well, like I cooked with it, and then I was like, no, put it in the sink and put water in it to let it soak, because I hate doing dishes. And then it just shattered.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, if you're doing what I did, make sure you cool your water down all the way. And you can also flush a toilet if it's not working, which I just did this morning. I flushed my toilet for the first time in like 3 days, which was pretty disgusting. And I don't recommend.
Hello, you are offline. Coach is offline.
I don't recommend that you let this happen for that long.
RIP, perhaps his internet or his power is gone. Hello, you're back.
Oh, okay. I was talking the whole time. I hope it it probably recorded. It just
no, it did not. It said you were offline.
Okay, well, I'll just say it again.
You flushed your toilet for the first time in several days. This last.
Yeah. So, the way I did that was I just went to the pool, walked all the way over to the pool, stole the water, and just dumped it in the bowl. Same mechanics, but don't. It would be really bad if you cracked the bowl of the toilet.
Yeah. So
definitely don't pour hot water into the bowl if you can avoid it, because that would be a big mess and not just like shitty water. Like, well, it would be water spilling everywhere if you did that in the tank versus like shit and urine and also water spilling everywhere if you did it in the bowl. So
yeah, just like don't break your toilet is my
and I have no idea when they're gonna fix it, you know.
Do you have like renter's insurance?
Yeah, but I mean that's like for if like a pipe burst and like I lost all my stuff. That would be.
I've heard through the grapevine, a little birdie told me, that like you could at least claim like your spoiled food because your fridge doesn't work.
Oh, it was so cold it didn't matter.
Yeah, but you could do it anyway. They don't check. What are they going to do?
That sounds like more effort than I'm willing to put in.
You could get $50 whole
lazy. I definitely did not have $50 whole worth of stuff, but then they don't know that.
They don't know that. This isn't proof.
No.
This is a comedy podcast, folks.
Yeah, this is all satire.
All for the bit.
Yeah.
Just like commit insurance fraud, though.
Yeah. Dude, I love fraud.
Fraud, it works out for most fraudsters.
Yeah, yes. I mean, bad boy from a very old episode, but Enron.
They never got caught.
They famously did not get in trouble for all the fraud they committed. It's just hearsay that we're even talking about it, you know? Just fraud they allegedly committed, I should say.
We should start a fraud crime podcast.
Yeah, a spinoff to this one. that the people have really been asking for.
Yes, a spinoff in the same exact genre.
Yeah, to just only talk about Enron.
Just Enron every episode.
Dude, that's basically what like a lot of the high-level accounting classes were. Like, there'd be like movie days where we just watch the same documentary about Enron. It's pretty interesting.
I believe I watched that once in high school, and I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
cool guys.
Though I think the concept of like treating energy like a stock that you can like buy and sell like that is, I mean, I guess that people do it with like water. I don't know. I think that's weird.
Yeah.
But I think that's also what Texas does anyways, because like some people in Texas have like $10,000 energy bills because they buy it at wholesale prices, and when demand got so high, because the Texas power grid isn't connected to the rest of the country, which
it's privatized.
Yeah, and also so it can't be federally regulated.
Have you gotten like huge spikes in your power bill? Because I have seen that they just like upped the price to like $9 a kilowatt hour instead of like 20 cents a kilowatt hour.
I haven't checked. I think there's some stuff in play, like because I get my energy from the government, like from the city of Austin. So I think mine's probably.
You think you're fine?
I think I'm fine. Well, I mean, good. Like even if it was like pretty expensive, I think I'd be okay. I wasn't using that much power, and I'll be saving on my water bill because I don't have any.
Yeah, I saw multiple TikTok videos of people being like, over the last 3 days, my power bill in Texas is over $5,000, which is like, that's way too much.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, like, I think it's because they're getting it from like certain.
Yeah.
Like they're getting it from for wholesale prices, so they're normally they probably get it way cheaper, but now because there's the demand so high, they don't have any regulatory body to keep them from not spending $1 million. I think.
I don't know.
The economics of living, folks.
Woo! I think living is a scam.
Dude, you're telling me, man. I had that same thought on Tuesday when I had nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. I guess I'll read a book.
Like, capitalism really just taught everybody that, like, you need to procreate to fulfill your humanity, and it's just like, they just want more people to pay into their power bill.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah, if there was a time for me to, like, have a sweetie or some sort of bae, this week would have been it. It would have been nice to have, like, somebody. Because I'm just, like, sitting in my apartment by myself. I'm like, haha, sick.
Cool.
Very nice.
It might also be a time for, like, an out-of-state bae.
What do you mean? Oh, like a person I could flee to?
Yeah, if you could just leave Texas.
Oh, but that's the thing. The roads were so bad. Like, because I could go to my dad's place, which is like an hour away, but he lives like in the middle of nowhere where I imagine the roads are like, the roads are already fairly dangerous when they're normal and there's no water or ice or anything on them.
They've never been taken care of.
By anybody?
Yeah, just like...
Oh, the roads. Yeah. It's just... Well, there's no plows down here. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
But yeah, so like those roads, I'm not even going to fucking try until they're totally clear. And by the time they're totally clear, I probably have water. And my dad doesn't even have water, so there's no reason to go out there. Yeah. I don't know. I'll see if any of my Austin homies have running water. Maybe I could be like, hey, can I like take a shower at your place? And like, I'll cook you food. Actually, that might work.
Yeah, but instead you're here recording this podcast.
Well, who's awake at 10 a.m. on a Saturday? Well, probably a lot of people.
Yeah. I've also been in a situation where, like, it feels like sort of life-threatening, and you're just like, I don't need to focus on that right now. The most famous situation is when my wife almost killed me.
Oh yeah, how'd she do that?
She does not like when I bring it up. She forced me to have macaroons.
Oh yes. I've heard this story, but I don't know if the audience has.
No, my wife will love to hear it. It was the day in 2018 when Kanye dropped a new album, my number one most impactful artist. And she also loves Kanye. So we were like, let's listen to his new album together. And to celebrate, like, we'll go to a bakery, get some nice little treats. And it was a great time. And she got macaroons and I got cookies. And then she was like, this macaroon's so good. And I was like, I'm good. And she's like, no, you have to try it. And I was like, no, I'm good. And she's like, no, just have one bite. It's so good. And then I tried it and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's pretty good. And then my throat started to close.
Yeah, I guess so. You didn't know that they have almonds in them.
No, I was unaware. I think. Yeah, I was totally unaware. I've never had a macaroon. I didn't know what they were made of. I assumed it was just like flour and sugar.
I don't know why they have to be made with almond flour.
Yeah, it seems like a scam. Yeah, so I had that, and then like my entire body turned like red/purple, and then my throat was closing. And then she was like, "We should call an ambulance." I'm like, I'm just trying to hear this album.
You're like, oh, give me a second.
I was just like hanging out in bed and listen to this album a couple times in a row. And it was worth it. I would do it again. But I did nearly pass away.
Well, I'm thankful that you didn't, because And I'm sure the fans are also thankful because they wouldn't have this great podcast to listen to.
So much great content. Let's go over some of our greatest hits.
Yeah.
Remember my favorite website was just a website that listed the digits of pi?
Yeah. I said something funny about horses once.
Yep. Horses have bad legs.
That one episode with Arthur that was completely mangled, but I mean, he was great guest.
Great guest. We love Arthur. One day if a single person asks.
That one episode that didn't get released where I was completely unhinged. I had a fan reach out and ask about that.
Did they hear the episode?
No, but they were like asking about. Well, I mean, they asked if they could listen to it because I had mentioned that there was a couple unreleased episodes, one of which was me really going a little off
haywire.
The rails. Yeah. But I think that file's lost.
I still have it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want the file, she said she'd pay money for it. So maybe that could be behind the paywall.
I'll send just your half.
I think that would be that would be really funny. Just half the podcast where it's just me like that would make me sound even more unhinged.
It's like Garfield without Garfield, where it's just John being really sad.
Yeah, that is exactly what it would be. Okay, that's going to be behind the paywall if we ever do that.
Okay,
like $10 a month for that one.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Those are our hits. That's about it.
Yeah, we don't have enough hits to really. This isn't really a podcast about hits. It's a podcast about just the good vibes, you know.
Yes.
Just something to listen to while you're driving that you're not
while
really
you're working out.
Yeah, or just something you're not really going to pay attention that closely to, but sounds like fine. You know, you're not going to turn it off. You're not going to touch your phone to change it.
Yeah.
And it's all the same to us.
It's all the same. Speaking of this podcast, let's get into the gimmick.
Yes.
The bad boy.
I'm just going to say, I did have a real bad boy this week that I was going to research, but then the
world ended.
Society kind of collapsed around me, so I didn't do the research. But I will do it for a week where, life is normal again.
Sure.
So I'm going to just say Mother Nature's the bad boy, and also Ted Cruz. And I think that's fine.
Cruz.
I think I know everyone's mad at him for good reason, for fleeing the state, but I also find that to be very funny.
I did also just see that he tweeted in 2016, "I'll believe in climate change when Texas freezes over."
Yeah. The whole situation with him has been very funny to me.
But that's every situation with him. Every situation you're just like, what are you doing, buddy? Are you okay?
Yeah. I kind of ironically love Ted Cruz. Because in his, what the fuck is he gonna do? Everything's totally fucked here. I'd be like, well, I can't fix this shit until this all melts.
I have to go to Mexico because my children watched Coco, and I wanted to see if the skeletons were real.
Yeah,
I get it. I don't know what his actual excuse was. But.
Yeah, see if the skeletons, the Mexican skeletons are real in Cancun, a very authentically Mexican part of the country.
Yeah.
That isn't just a resort.
I'll tell you what, he's not on my ofrenda.
Sure.
Have you seen Coco?
Yeah.
All right. You get it.
It's been a minute.
That's fair.
Coco's Pixar, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the. I'm trying to think of a Pixar movie I've liked more than Coco since then, because they've all been kind of shitty, other than Soul, which was also pretty decent.
I like Soul a lot. I did not like the ending.
Yeah, I wanted him to. I wanted him to die.
Yeah, like the whole point, like the whole movie is setting up like, look, you only get one chance at life. You can't fuck it up. Don't waste your time.
And even then, he gets another chance to,
He gets another chance, and then he's supposed to be like, no, you have to live with the consequences,
Yeah.
Whatever.
And he's like, nah, just kidding. Yep. I wanted him to fade into the abyss at the very end.
Yeah. And then,
that would have been very powerful.
Like,
and then the movie just ends.
Yeah. If he just, like, jumped back onto Earth screaming YOLO, that would be very funny.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
It is ironic.
That would be great. Just like YOLO. But he should have died. I feel like Pixar was afraid to kill a black person. Is that they're like, this is our first like black movie.
I wasn't gonna say it first, but I was having to say that like they can't just let him die at the end of the movie.
This is our first like actual woke movie.
I really liked the parts of the movie like that were just like in New York, like of him, hanging out with his community.
Yeah, the barbershop.
Yeah, it was cool. Great.
And
the jazz stuff. I wish there was more of that.
Yeah, I also wish there was more jazz.
I think people. I don't know. I didn't mind. Like, I know some people complained about him being like a cat for part of the movie, but like,
yeah, Pixar does that, or Disney does that.
I was like, it's fine. I mean,
yeah.
But then again, I'm just one Italian person. I'm not going to say white. I'm going to say Italian.
Yeah, accurate
person. And what does my opinion mean to anybody?
Nothing.
Cuomo should be in jail. These fucking wops. Why are they in the government at all?
Fair. I mean, I'm not gonna add on to that, but yeah, fair. You're allowed to say it.
If anyone's allowed to say it, it's me.
Yeah. So my bad boy, you're all wondering. A very familiar name, I'm sure you all know, James Safechuck.
Is this one where it's like this is a famous true crime thing that like everybody knows about, but like because I don't know anything about true crime that I don't know this person, or is this actually somebody that nobody knows anything about?
This is probably somebody nobody knows the name of off top.
But it's somebody that people know the story of, maybe?
You definitely know the story of. People definitely 1,000% know the story of Jimmy Safechuck, as he's known to his friends.
Oh, Jimmy.
So good old Jimmy, at 10 years old, a California native. This is in the mid 80s, 86. He's hired by our favorite corporation, Pepsi, to be in a commercial. Now, pretty cool as a 10-year-old to be in a Pepsi commercial. I would prefer a Coke commercial, but I'm not going to turn my nose up at Pepsi.
I think Pepsi has cooler commercials, to be honest.
Pepsi is the one that was like, hand a Pepsi bottle to a cop and he won't kill black people.
Oh. Wait, with what's her face? Kendall Jenner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I never even saw that commercial. I just saw everybody being really mad about it.
Yeah, well, I think I watched it on YouTube intentionally, but I don't actually see commercials. I thought it was very funny when during a Black Lives Matter protest, somebody handed a Pepsi to a cop and he just like smacked it to the ground and it exploded. That was good.
I love a good exploding soda.
It's
Speaking of soda, that's the only liquid I have to drink, by the way. Because I went to the store yesterday and they didn't have water.
Did you think to get a Truly, perhaps?
No, I didn't get any alcohol. I know how badly that would have ended. I made the right call to say.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get some Sody Pops. And I picked up some Powerade water, but it's very sweet. Like, it tastes like candy, so there's no way it's like...
I was just about to genuinely suggest, why don't you water it down? Whoops.
That's what I do with my lemonade.
Yeah.
But, there's no lemonade anymore because I drank all of it and there's no water.
Yeah.
So.
That's fine. So, anyway, James Jimmy Safechuck, 10-year-old boy in a Pepsi commercial.
I fucking hate his last name. It's so annoying to listen to.
Yeah. I also don't like it, but I'm not gonna be rude to him. Also featured in this Pepsi commercial, famously, the man whose hair was on fire, Michael Jackson. You may know him from the song Thriller.
I know him from his parody from appearance in Yakuza 0.
Do you know him from The Simpsons?
No, I don't watch The Simpsons.
I
know Robbie watches The Simpsons because he uses my Disney Plus account.
That's fine.
He also watches bad X-Men movies, which I don't understand.
X-Men are they're good movies. So I want to get to this true crime, but also I'm going to take forever on it. So
we're doing a long episode.
Long episode, baby. I have no idea. Woo! We have a timer now. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I don't have to do math anymore. Yeah. So he meets Michael Jackson. I was going to say his middle name, and I do not know Michael Jackson's middle name. I'm gonna guess that it's Mike. I have no idea.
What is his middle name?
Yeah,
he strikes me as a no middle name kind of a guy, but
he's like the Pope or Mariah Carey.
Oh, his middle name's Joseph.
I was gonna say James, and then I was like, nope, that's the name of the kid.
Michael Joseph Jackson.
That makes sense. Joe Jackson. I get it.
I guess.
I get it. He's got a big family. So he meets Michael Jackson, and pretty cool. He's like, hey, Michael Jackson, you want to be friends? And Michael Jackson's like, yeah, that sounds sick. And then he gave Mr. Safechuck the jacket from the Thriller video. Like, one of the most famous...
It's a very cool jacket.
One of the most famous pieces of clothing in history.
Yeah.
And he just, like, gives it to this 10-year-old kid who, like, does not understand, I'm sure. And then Michael Jackson starts flying his whole family to Neverland Ranch to visit.
Yeah, I mean, just a friendly get-together.
Yeah. Which, like, sure, you work together for, like, 3 days on a commercial.
They're colleagues.
They are colleagues. And they went to Hawaii together.
Yeah, just a little work buds going to Hawaii together.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then this is, on the trip to Hawaii, this is when Jimmy first alleges that Michael Jackson was a little bit forward in their relationship. And he just was like, hey, my bed's really comfy. Why don't you sleep in my bed? He didn't suggest they do anything. Just that, the kid tries out the mattress.
Right.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's fine with that. And then
very normal.
Yeah. So that was like 86, 87. That's happening. They're friends for a while. And then 93 comes along. And the LA police are like, I'm not so sure about this Michael Jackson character. He seems a little bit kooky, if you ask me. And they're suggesting that he possibly molested 4 children. So then they go to
That's a big claim.
That's a high number of children, in my opinion. So the police go to this Neverland Ranch. And then they go to his condominium in Los Angeles. His 2 main places of residence. Really big places. A lot of weird stuff going on there. And the police find no evidence. Interesting. And then Vanity Fair calls the kid Jamie. Excuse you? His name's James or Jimmy. And they call him Jamie. A little disrespectful to this molested child.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And so they publish a report that essentially discusses these allegations that Jamie and his family have against Michael Jackson. And this lawyer that he has is like, Michael Jackson was in love with Jimmy Safechuck, which I find a little unbelievable because have you ever met like a 10-year-old?
A couple
They
times.
suck.
Yeah, they're not great.
They absolutely suck. Nothing that they say is interesting.
They're very mean.
Well, they're just like, hey, look what I can do. And then they just like jump and do a spin. And you're like, good job, bud. You just wasted 2 seconds of my life.
Is that 10? I feel like that's that's like 7-year-old behavior.
It is a little bit younger. Also, at this point, the kid was 13, but you know.
Oh, then he's a real piece of shit. Fuck 13-year-olds, man.
They're probably the worst, in my opinion. 13-year-olds.
13-year-old boys specifically are pretty awful. Yeah. Like 8th grade boys, bad people.
Yeah.
Should go to jail.
You should go to jail on your 13th birthday.
For just a year.
Just a year. But like
get it out of your system.
Should go to adult jail.
I don't think that would end well.
I mean, it's fine. And then, Michael Jackson's like, what are you guys doing? You're mad at me? I took you to Hawaii and you're mad at me?
You're mad at me for trying to be your friend with my coworker?
You don't trust me? I thought I was like a brother to you. Why would you make me feel so bad? This is a bond. This is something special. There's nothing to do with sex here.
Right.
And then from that point onwards, the family claims that Jamie slept with Jackson nearly every night for the next several months.
Wow.
So, I guess they did trust him after that. After he was just like, whoa, you don't trust me? And they're like, oh, no, we do because you're very rich.
Yeah. In fact, we trust you so much. Sleep with our boy.
I'm sure his bed was very comfortable.
I would expect nothing less from the Prince of Pop.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Why isn't Prince the Prince of Pop?
Good question. Prince is... I think he's very good, but he's also too short.
Yeah.
I think he was a short king, and they're like, you can't be short.
Was he really that short?
I think he was like 5'6", maybe.
Ooh.
Let's look it up. How tall was Prince? How tall was the artist?
5'3".
Oof.
Ooh. Michael Jackson's only 5'9". It's not like he was particularly tall either.
No, but that's average.
Wow.
That's average.
Freddie Mercury was 5'10", and I think of Freddie Mercury as a short king. Yikes.
He's Italian. That's probably part of it.
Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, wasn't he Italian?
No. I thought he was Indian.
Ah, that sounds right. He's British.
Well, yeah, but like ethnically.
That's all it says. It says he was a British singer-songwriter.
He wasn't Italian. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, probably. I believe it. I'm going to choose to believe it.
What's an Italian Freddie Mercury like? Well, we don't do
Mamma Mia.
Yep. That's it. That's what he's like.
That was the song that he did.
Yeah. Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, let me go. That was good.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Nailed it.
We did it. We got there.
Anyway, so they
if you want to book us on another podcast, slide into those DMs.
I will be on any podcast. So at this point, the family alleges that Michael Jackson had repeatedly committed sexual battery on their son, which is like a harsh claim.
That's a big accusation.
Yeah, so Michael Jackson's like, you just see that I'm rich and you want my money, and you see this strong bond that me and your son have, and you want to abuse it. You want to take advantage of me, and batter my name in the public eye. He's not a fan of it, to say the least.
Sure.
And so he settled this suit about sexual battery for well over $20 million.
Wow.
But he has denied any wrongful acts till his death. So, in my experience, which is a lot as a true crime detective.
We are experts in subject matter experts of true crime on this podcast. My favorite murder, get the fuck out of here. That stuff's for babies.
People who maintain their innocence, even after they've paid the consequence, are genuinely innocent.
Sure.
Why? Like, you're like, I pay the consequence. Like, now I'm like, what does it matter if the truth comes out? I'm just like, I fucking, yeah. But if you're like, look, I'll pay you so you shut up about it. You stop like yelling at me and calling me a pedophile on SNL. But like, I didn't do it. So I believe him on that. That's 93. 94. They announced that they do not want to file any criminal charges because Jamie declined to testify. Interesting.
Very interesting. Perhaps he was paid off by nobody, because he's just an honorable person who really respected the friendly platonic bond he had with his colleague Michael Jackson.
He's a good man, perhaps.
Perhaps the greatest.
So they put just a slew of young boys on the witness stand.
They just round up a bunch of children. What the fuck?
Just various young boys, and these are all children that hung out at Michael Jackson's slumber parties.
Oh, okay. So they weren't just
they weren't just meeting orphans. Like, hey, do you want to testify against Michael Jackson?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. This corrupt system.
Yeah. So then they're like, look, they play so hard, they fall asleep, they're exhausted. There's nothing more to it than that. And what's this girl's name? Okay, so one of the boys, Wade Robson, Australian, he was one of the young witnesses, 10 years old, and he would go to the slumber parties. His mom is the one who said they play so hard they fall asleep, they're exhausted. There's nothing more to it than that.
Yeah.
And in the documentary Leaving Neverland, she's like, I was excited that I got to defend him and save him from this this harsh abuse that the media is giving him. Which you're like, yeah, okay. The kid's not testifying, the mom's on his side. Seems pretty good. So that's September 93. December 93, LaToya Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister, says everything's true and that Michael Jackson is a pedophile rapist.
Right.
Which,
I mean, sisters will say anything just to get at their brother.
Yeah, it's like a little prank that you play on your siblings.
Yeah. Siblings lie all the time. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so she claims that she's seen a lot of Michael Jackson checks that he gives out to these families. There's a little bit of hush money, substantial. She doesn't say an exact amount, but she's like substantial checks were given out to these families of very young boys. And she says it makes a lot of sense because all the Jackson children were sexually abused by their parents, and so it makes a lot of sense that you'd continue that abuse due to the trauma. Which, if true,
and who's to say if it is?
I believe that it's not. But if true, you can't just like attack this man for his mental trauma that he was not able to get therapy for because of the stigma in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard being a man of color, or at one point a man of color, and getting mental health. That the community is, I mean, even back then nobody liked mental health, but even now, I mean, as a POC, it's hard. It's hard to
the society in the 90s was very like yell the N-word, whisper the word therapy.
Yeah,
that was how society was ran back then, and boomers are still like that
now.
It's definitely flipped a little bit, but boomers are still like that. Like the amount of like 6-year-old women, they're like, "Oh, my 22-year-old son, he's gonna go to therapy, but don't tell anybody." And then she'll like go to the supermarket, and then like a woman of color will be in front of her in line, and she'll go, "This bitch." But she doesn't say bitch.
Yeah, she does not.
It's that scene in A Christmas Story, but I didn't say bitch. Yeah, so that's the society that he was living in, and he's clearly very traumatized from sexual abuse by his parents. So if it did happen, which it didn't, but if it did, you gotta give him a little bit of a break.
And either way, he didn't even do anything to these boys.
That's correct.
It's all false accusations. So who cares?
Yeah. So that's LaToya Jackson. Catherine Jackson and other members of the Jackson family rally to Michael's defense, and they're like, "LaToya's lying, and I'll tell her to her face that she's lying. She's trying to make money off of Jackson's downfall." Which, like, she could absolutely stand to profit in taking down the most famous man in the world at the time.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, still is.
He still is quite up there.
I mean, this reminds me of the people who would rat out their families who stormed the Capitol, and all those people were trying to do was stop the steal.
Well, those people were guilty of stopping the steal.
Is that a crime?
Well, in this case, Michael Jackson did nothing wrong.
He was also trying to stop the steal.
In a way,
he was working very far in advance that we can't even comprehend.
I mean, he was actually close friends with Macaulay Culkin, who was also close friends with Donald Trump in the classic film Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So in a way, Michael Jackson was trying to stop the steal.
If only we just let him stop the steal.
2 degrees of separation.
Also, Biden's a scumbag.
Oh, absolutely. I hate Biden so much. We're not going to get into that. This is not a political podcast. We've never talked about politics.
Never. I mean, it's really funny, though, like how much of the stuff that he said he was going to do that he's just now doing the opposite of.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'll forgive student loan debt. No. Yeah, we'll do $15 an hour minimum wage. No.
Yeah, immediate
COVID relief checks.
No. Yeah, he sucks.
Still putting kids in cages.
Yep.
No. Insulin prices are going up because he undid the thing that Donald Trump did to make them cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. But at least Donald Trump's not the president anymore.
Well,
which I still think is, I mean, to be serious, is a good thing. But
it is a good thing, but also
this isn't that much better of a thing.
no. People are very upset that we say that it's not better. That's fine. So basically, everyone in Michael Jackson's family except LaToya Jackson is saying that he's innocent. They raid Neverland Ranch again. There's no details of. They arrested Michael Jackson, but they release no evidence or identify a victim. So his lawyer's like, yeah, this is all a scam for money. That he posts $3 million in bail. It's bullshit. He's acquitted of all criminal charges in 2005. And he dies at the age of 50.
Do you remember where you were when you died? Not when you died.
I do remember. I am alive. I do remember. I was sitting on my front porch.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I was sitting on my front porch. It was a nice sunny day. And then my stepmother told me that Michael Jackson had died. And then I was like, oh, damn. How old was I? I was a mid-teenager at the time.
I was 16.
Yeah, it would have been 17. I was almost 17 because it was in June. And my birthday was in June. August.
Yeah.
And then I remember, like, 10 minutes later, I was like, maybe he's just going to do a cool Thriller tour thing. And that was offensive. No, but I thought it was like, he dies, he comes back as a zombie, does a Thriller tour. Would have been sick. Like, based on how much people hated him for all these allegations that are definitely not true, if he came back and did a live Thriller tour after faking his own death, would have been fucking.
That would have been the coolest thing ever.
It literally would have been cool.
Everyone would have forgiven him for all the things that he definitely didn't do. But if he did do them, no one would care anymore.
Absolutely. It would have been the biggest event in music.
Didn't Billy Mays die also right around the same point? I was at doctor camp when I heard about all this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is doctor camp?
So I guess my biology teacher in high school liked me, and she was like, hey, I'm going to nominate you to go to this doctor camp thing. And you basically learn about the stuff you would do as a doc. It's like, hey, if you're considering going into medicine, this is kind of a thing to do that will, one, look good on a college application, and two, would, give you an idea if this is something you want to do or not. And I had no interest in going into medicine because my dad was into medicine. He is a doctor, and I've seen how well that's worked out for him. So I am not going to do that. But I went to the camp anyways, just to make sure that I didn't want to do it. And I was right. I did not want to be a doctor.
That's good.
They also made us go to a horse hospital at one point.
Mm-hmm. Was Donald Trump there? Huh? Pretty good. Pretty good.
I hate those jokes so much.
I mean, it wasn't
funny when John Mulaney did it. It wasn't not funny, but I was like, okay, get on to your next bit. And then people are like, we're going to just talk about this for 4 years. Fucking morons. Yeah, I don't know why they sent us to there was different groups where you could go to different things, and I was like, oh, I definitely don't want to go to the horse hospital. That's the one I don't want to go to. And they're like, hey, you're going to be in the group that goes to the horse hospital. And then I learned about how shitty horses are.
They suck.
And literally they can die. Well, they have to be killed if anything happens to them.
Yeah.
Which is why I joke with my friend at work who's a horse girl. If she says anything, I'm like, oh, did you have to send it to the glue factory? And she's like, stop it. This is my child. And I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah. All right. So I At 50, Michael Jackson is murdered by his doctor. It's manslaughter legally, but
yeah.
he did administer a deadly dose of anesthetic. Which, like, you're a doctor, you should know that. You should know not to do that to the most famous man on earth. Now, here's what's interesting. Michael Jackson dies 2009. 2013, our good friends Wade Robson and James Safechuck, now they're filing suits against the Jackson estate, suggesting that they were molested. So they refused to testify when he was alive.
Yeah.
And now that he's dead, they're like, oh, hey, we can cash in on this money. Because they like Michael Jackson. They know that he didn't do it. But now that he can't defend himself, they're like, hey, I got no problem stealing from LaToya Jackson, Janet Jackson, the Jackson estate, Bubbles.
Yeah.
Michaela Jackson. So they're now claiming that he molested them, and then they did that documentary Leaving Neverland on HBO.
Right. I never watched that.
I also never watched it because I do real research.
Yeah. I don't watch documentaries when I am some kind of nerd.
Yeah.
So I did want to see that meme documentary that came out.
I don't know it.
It's Feels Good Man or something. It's about I don't know, memes.
That face with no GF.
True.
Yeah.
Me on Tuesday sitting alone in my dark apartment.
Yeah. So they both separately try to sue the Jackson estate, and the judges are like, yeah, the estate's like not liable at all for what happened to you, whether it did or not. Like, I'm not going to say whether you are telling the truth or not, but like, you can't just like sue the production company.
No,
like that means nothing. And the fact that they're trying to, like, the suit was filed against MJJ Productions and MJJ Ventures, which is like, if you're suing the production company, you're just looking for money, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then James Safechuck tried to do the same thing with the same companies, and they're like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. So that's the case. That's a pretty thorough step-by-step of what happened. And here's why I think that it's all garbage bullshit.
Why?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
World famous pedophile.
He definitely did it.
He definitely did it, and he also definitely did not kill himself.
He's not even dead, as far as I'm concerned.
Man.
Until I see the body with my own two eyes, who's to say what happened?
I mean, something definitely happened. I wouldn't be surprised if he was dead. I'm surprised Ghislaine Maxwell's not dead, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting when that rumor that she got COVID came out. That was very funny. And then it turned out to be a lie. But so Jeffrey Epstein, world famous pedophile. He's got all these flight logs. He's got a friggin' island of rape. He's got mansions in America.
They should make
no relation to Michael Jackson.
Next season of Fortnite should just be the Epstein Island.
Little St. James.
Yeah. Or at least have that be one island a part of the Fortnite map. That would be funny.
Yeah. So, two world famous pedophiles, Michael Jackson, Jeffrey Epstein. No exchanging of notes, no bridge between them. They have no connection.
That is peculiar.
You would think that the two biggest famous Hollywood pedophiles would have a connection.
Maybe they're kind of like rival organizations, you know?
I don't think so. Like, Michael Jackson, like, it's alleging that he was just like a lone wolf pedophile, which in Hollywood I don't think exists. there's no one guy in Hollywood that's like, I know that there's a lot of child rape going on with everybody else. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to find my own locally sourced children and do it that way. That's not happening. They have avenues
like
for
like a food snob. I don't want these mass produced children. I want organic, homegrown, no GMOs boys.
Like, they have avenues for this. Like, he's not finding his own.
He's just doing it for the thrill of the hunt. Or maybe it's just so easy. He's like, I don't even need to use the big boy trafficker. I can just do it myself.
But if he was doing it himself, you think Jeffrey Epstein's not going to be like, hey, how are you doing this so well?
I think it's pretty obvious how he's doing it so well. He's just paying them.
I mean, he only paid them after to shut them up.
Oh, I mean, he's Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I think that it's a whole conspiracy, and I think that he was murdered by his doctor. Oh boy, my wife's gonna hate this episode.
Have you seen Paris Jackson's Instagram?
I have not.
That's interesting.
Should I look it up?
It's not that interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Now Rebecca Black's Instagram, pretty great.
What's she up to these days?
Last Friday, because it was the 10-year anniversary of Friday, the song. She did like a remix of it with some
remix
people.
To Ignition.
Yeah. She's she could go on the cast. I'll put it that way.
I would love to have
open invite for Rebecca Black to be on the cast.
I would love to have Rebecca Black on the podcast.
Also, open invite for Martin Cabela to come on the cast, and I might actually ask him to do the cast.
I don't know if I can handle talking to him, but
I don't think I could. I think it's just one of those things where we just ask him to talk, and then just he would talk. You know what I mean? He'll just keep. Yeah. We'll just be like, "Hey, so have any crimes happened to you?" And then he would be like, "Well,
when I was in the military."
Yeah,
he loves talking about that one.
He really has the same like 4 or 5 things that he talks about, but he always puts a refreshing twist. Well, not always. He eventually will put a twist on them. He has a website now where you can join his religion that he made up.
I'm worried about him.
Yeah. I think you get like free business cards or something if you DM this guy on Instagram, and he'll mail you. Which I'm like, I don't want to give these people my address.
That's fair.
Otherwise, I'd do it, but because it would be very funny. So Martin Cabello, for the folks at home who don't know anything about him, is he's on TikTok, he's on Twitter, he's on Instagram, but he basically talks about he's really big on keto.
Yeah,
he's really big on talking about how he was, I guess, raped. And also forced to rape. It's not very clear. His wife is also involved with that, but it's not super clear about how the homeowners association that he lives in, the military, the sheriff in his area or whatever, are all in cahoots to cover up a pedophilia ring. A lot of true crimes. So I think he'd be a perfect guest to have on this podcast.
Martin, if you're listening, come on the show.
I'm going to reach out to you on the Twitter, Martin.
Come on the show, defend yourself.
Well, I think it's more like expose the criminals.
Yeah.
Maybe put that episode behind a paywall.
It's a spicy episode, to be sure.
Yeah.
So that's my theory on Michael Jackson and why I think he's innocent.
It's, pretty convincing theory, if you ask me.
I think no connection to Jeffrey Epstein is very suspicious, and I think
it is peculiar.
Not testifying until he's dead, very suspicious.
Well, it's kind of like what people do with Subway, where they like just know they can like claim bullshit against Subway and like get money from a lawsuit.
Are you trying to claim that Jared is innocent?
Uh, who's to say? But I was
Jared,
watching a video the other day about how people were like suing Subway for their tuna
their
fish
tuna.
sandwiches, yeah, not having tuna in them, and they're
Well,
like,
like,
they do.
but they also did that. So the CBC, which is a Canadian broadcast channel,
Yeah,
they do news funded by taxpayers. This is publicly funded. They released an article that said the chicken at Subway is not 100% chicken. Which,
right.
if you've been to Subway, you know.
Yeah,
You
it's
you you just look at it and you're like, that's not a chicken.
yeah,
That's no animal. Those grill marks are painted on 1,000%.
and that's
Um,
fine.
that's fine. People love the chicken.
Yeah,
I did air quotes.
I could hear them.
People love it. Like, it's fine. I get the chicken, and then so they're like, "Hey, this is not actually chicken." We did a quick little study, and Subway took out like a full page ad, and they're like, "We are suing the CBC for this slander, this libel. Like, of course it's 100% chicken."
Yeah.
And it's like, Subway, nobody cares.
Well,
Nobody
I
cares.
think they know they can use that to use it as a publicity stunt because they did the
But
same thing with the tuna thing. And
yeah,
not only is the suit saying it's not tuna, they were saying it wasn't even fish.
they're
Uh,
saying everything is turkey based. Like, the whole menu is turkey based.
but it's like if someone could come up with a non-fish thing that tastes so much like fish that people don't
Believe it?
question it, then like why aren't they like, oh hey, we invented this substance that's also somehow cheaper than just getting the fish anyways.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. And I think people are doing that with Michael Jackson. We're like, well, if we just say that we were molested, we could probably make like a couple million, right?
Yeah. Which they did.
Yeah.
They bled him dry.
Well, as a state, but
No, when he was alive, he was
oh
handing
yeah,
out
yeah.
$20 million checks to these people to be like, stop calling me a pedophile. Like, I'm trying to be a cool guy.
I could use 20 million.
I could also use I don't even know if I could use 20 million, but I would like to have it.
Yeah, it's like I was like, I'm not spending that much money ever. I would love to
That's a
move
lot
to a
of money.
place that has running water,
Yeah.
and the
You could do
20
that with
million.
20 million.
I certainly could. I
You
could
could
make
move to
that happen,
Wyoming.
dude. You gotta. I'm gonna start buying land up in the northern part of North America because
Buy
when
a
seas
house in
flood,
Montana, dude.
yeah, make a little compound up there.
Yeah.
Me and
It's got to
Kanye.
be cheap. I mean, he's in Wyoming, but you could drive there. It's a short
I mean,
drive, I'm
it's
sure.
all in the same neck of the country that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Um, Poor
Kanye's going to
Kanye,
be
by
there
the
full
way.
time. Yeah, he's going to be in Wyoming full time now, probably.
Yeah, is he gonna get custody of the kids?
What they're saying is they've both agreed to joint custody, which is surprising and makes me question the validity of the divorce.
Yeah, that is surprising because you think if Kim was doing this, because it's like I think she obviously is tired of Kanye's
Antics.
self-expression. Um,
But she's been a down bitch for a long time. He has a
yeah,
whole
it's just
song about it. Like, she stood by him, and she was
through a lot.
like the very famous tweets. Some of my favorite tweets of all time. Let me pull it up. Oops.
We love reading
Where's
old tweets.
I love reading Kanye's old tweets. Let me just hit that one. Where is Kim's tweet though? I have Kanye's tweet. Okay, so Kim tweets. To the media trying to demonize my husband, let me just say this. Your commentary on Kanye being erratic and his tweets being disturbing is actually scary. So quick to label him as having mental health issues for just being himself when he has always been expressive is not fair. Great.
Yeah,
I mean, like, that's a
true.
life. That's a wife. She's standing by. This is in 2018 when he said slavery was a choice and he put on a MAGA hat. And people were like, oh, okay, like, relax, dude. Just relax.
Yeah, Kanye really could have listened to that advice. I don't think he's capable of relaxing, though.
No, I don't think he is.
Fatal flaw, perhaps.
So everyone's mad at him. Kim tweets that, and you're like, "Damn, that's a wife." And then you look at Kanye's Twitter, and his most recent tweet is, "I'm nice at ping pong," and you're like, "Yeah."
I don't think anyone would go up to bat for me like that. The way Kim did for Kanye, and it's a shame that she's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm done."
Well, like, he's had so many, like, very public outbursts that
he had a rough 2020.
He had a rough 2020. He had a rough.
We all did, though. I did. You know, in many ways, Kanye and I are more similar than we are different.
Yeah, I mean, like, he had COVID in 2020.
Oh, he did.
He did. He got it early too. He got it in February.
Yeah, that's not
surprising. He's genuinely just trying to build up the world, not even his community.
He's trying to stop the world from killing itself.
He truly is. Like, he went to Haiti and was like, I'm just going to invest enough money to build a city here and just, like, end homelessness and, like, build schools. Like, that's international. Like, he's not getting a tax break for that. The American government doesn't give a shit. Yeah. He's trying to help out the people of Haiti. And he's building
help out the Haitians.
He's building schools in Atlanta, and he's got schools in California, and he's building, like, housing for the homeless in Wyoming. Like, he's doing a bunch of, like, all his fashion is now manufactured in America. Like, he's doing genuinely good shit. But then he'll, like, go on Joe Rogan and say that he's anti-vax, and you're like, God damn it, Kanye. Just, like, what are you doing, buddy? And the worst part,
he just does not have a PR guy.
No, he doesn't. He famously fired his manager and tweeted, I cannot be managed.
Fair.
True. Yeah, so the thing is, in 2018, there was a whole big, hullabaloo about what he's doing. But then we got, like, 5 albums in a row that he exclusively produced, and he featured on all of them. And, like, 2 of them were his, like, every Friday for a month. And you're just like, these are all, like, incredible pieces of art. This is some of his best work. But, like, you don't need to do both. You don't need to say slavery was a choice and then do your best work. Just do your best work. And then, like,
you can think whatever you want. That's my opinion. But, sometimes we don't say our thoughts. Or if we do, we don't say them publicly in a way that, is recorded in some way. And if it is recorded, you certainly don't post it.
Yeah. You don't do it during a live interview with TMZ. They'll post it. Yeah. And then, like, on his album, after he said slavery was a choice, he was just like, everyone was mad at me about that, but, like, imagine if they caught me on a wild day. Like, imagine if I was, like, actually saying something, how people would feel. And you're like, come on, buddy. So all these public outbursts, and, like, everybody's like, hey, like, you genuinely severely need medication and therapy, which I'll co-sign. I'll co-sign. I'll co-sign that he needs some kind of help.
Well, it's like me. I don't need medication or therapy. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah, so
we can all agree I'm doing fine.
So it strikes me as very odd that he would get joint custody. I mean, I'm happy for him if that's the case. But because they're like, yeah, sources say, like, they're happy with joint custody. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing.
Probably not fit to take care of
he's
children.
Flying all over the place. I don't know that he is. I think he's, clearly taught North a thing or two about art, but you're like, he seems like a good dad, but I don't know that he's, but like, I guess he could just like have people take care of like cleaning and laundry and stuff. But he doesn't do that.
Oh yeah, he's got people on the compound.
Like all the stuff that you're like, well, dads aren't good at like cooking and so like he can hang out with the kids.
That's sexist. First of all, I'm sure Kanye
like I don't think that. I don't think that.
Yeah,
but a lot
no,
of
I'm
people
saying it's
like,
a society that we live in.
Yeah, we do live in a society.
So excited for the Snyder cut of Justice League, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be so, it's like stupid, but it's going to be in a fun, stupid way.
I'm sure. And the last thing I'll say about Kanye, there was a picture posted yesterday from some paparazzis in which he was wearing his wedding ring. So
poor King. How tall is Kanye West? He can't be that tall, is he?
5'7", I think.
Yeah, he comes off as a short king.
I'm going to read another classic Kanye tweet.
Oh, he's 5'8". Kim Kardashian's 5'2", which I feel like is wrong. Like, I feel like she should be taller than that. She looks great for 40.
Yeah, Kanye tweeted, "Maybe I couldn't be skinny and tall, but I'll settle for being the greatest artist of all time as a consolation." So that's the short king rally.
Yeah. How tall is Khloe Kardashian? She also seems like she would be tall.
5'2".
Really?
No, I have no idea.
She's 5'10". Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
I don't know. I don't. Very short women that look like they shouldn't be short bother me.
Yeah.
Not in like not in a sexist way. In a way that I'm like, you should be either taller or not look like that. You should look shorter or be taller.
Is this like a high heels?
No, it's just like you know how some people who are short like look
they
like
have like the
short?
confidence of a tall person.
No, it's like instead of being short, it's like somebody dragged the corner of an image of a tall person and then just like scaled it down.
Sure.
And that weirds me out.
Right.
Or it's like in video games where like they didn't make a character model for a child, so they just like took the adult model and made it small.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this is wrong. This is not what a small person looks like. It's the same thing, but in real life.
All right. I'll allow it.
Speaking of video games, did you hear the word of the new? Well, we talked about this, but I'm talking about it on the air.
Yeah, I have not heard the word. Please enlighten me.
Yeah, there's a new Smash Brothers character, or should I say, characters. Coming out. Sister. People are mad. People get mad about
anime boys.
Well, in this case, anime girls, but
Same thing.
they don't like anime characters in Smash Brothers, which blows my mind in a little bit, because it's like
you would feel like the target audience is an overlap.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like there's this generation of people who like grew up playing Nintendo games, but they only played like Mario, Donkey Kong 64, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. Like, none of the like weeb-ish parts of Nintendo, which have always been around. Like Fire Emblem has been a thing, not in the United States the whole time, but it's like an old franchise. And it's definitely changed a lot more recently, which I don't necessarily like, but that's another thing. But like their weeb stuff has always been around, and people are like, man, I hate anime shit in Smash Brothers. I'm like, dude, it's a Japanese company.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're going to add Master Chief from Halo to this? Which he wouldn't even be fun. He would just have guns that would do different things.
He would have
and an energy sword. Like that would be it. Cool.
What if he could have the Warthog?
As a side B?
Yeah.
This is the decision to side B. Just whip out the Warthog.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick.
like a Wario motorcycle, but
even bigger.
It's bigger, and you can't be hit.
Oh, and if you stop driving it, you can hop in the back and then use the turret.
Hell yeah.
That would be okay. I should be a game
What
designer.
if you're on a team? It's a team match, and you're.
Oh, then your buddy could do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so fucking cool.
A Nintendo.
But I don't think people would like that though. Like people would be like, "Oh, like this isn't realistic enough for my Master Chief character in Smash Brothers."
Yeah. That's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, it's well, whatever. Are you gonna get Mario Golf?
I think so. I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? I love golf games.
Dude, we should absolutely, when it comes out, do a little Mario Golf action. Yeah. Maybe we could get a little in the Discord, follow the Twitter, Bad Boy Crimes Pod on Twitter, join the Discord. And then if you have a Switch, get Mario Golf in like 4 months. And then we could all play together. Have a little Bad Boy Crimes
Open,
yeah. That's what it's called. It'd be very cool.
I wanted there to be another word there. I don't think there's another word.
Grand Tour. No, that's not golf, is it? Could it be?
PGA Tour, sure.
Sure, yeah, why not?
The BBC Tour.
Yeah, the BBC, the Grand BBC Tour. I want Grand in there.
All right, I'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be cool. Yeah, Mario sports games are definitely the best sport. I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of realistic sports games.
Oh, not at all.
On video, like playing video games, like playing them in real life is, whatever, depends on the sport. But I don't understand the appeal of playing FIFA or Madden or.
I was a big fan of like the Wii sport games.
Yeah, those are fun.
That was a very comfortable level of realism for me. But yeah, like I grew up on Mario Tennis 64 and other such.
They're fun.
What else do they have? Yeah, they're great. I like the current Mario Tennis for the Switch, but nobody plays it.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy that like because I got it when it came out and like very quickly it dropped off in player population because Bowser Jr. was so outrageously good, and like he sucks now because they just were like, yeah, we're just gonna nuke this character into the ground so that other characters can have a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. But yeah, now it's just like really good people who play, so it's not fun to play online unless you're playing with somebody who's also at your skill level.
Yeah.
That you happen to know because you're not going to find one randomly. Did you ever play Mario Strikers?
I did not.
One? Oh, dude, that game ruled.
There should be a Mario Bowling.
That would if they did like a Mario Sports package and they included Mario Bowling, that would be fine. But like as its own game, if it was less than $10, maybe I would buy it. But
well, it wouldn't just be like a bowling game. Like it would be like Mario Tennis has like challenge things where there's like piranha plant that's 80 feet tall.
Yeah, piranha.
Yeah,
dude, I love piranha.
Piranha is great. So if it was like Mario Bowling, it would have like the lanes wouldn't just be a straight lane.
Yeah,
they'd go wild. You could be the ball, perhaps. Who knows?
or you could have a mode where you're bowling bob-ombs.
Yeah,
and there's some exploding something involved. That could be something. Oh, it'd be a sick Mario sports game, Mario Lacrosse. It would never get made, but that would fucking rule.
No, nobody would buy it.
But it would be the best one because you could have like a lot of physical contact. You could do like wacky shit with like different moves or like have different like weird lacrosse sticks for different characters. That would be so cool. But the audience is just no one.
Yeah, no one knows what lacrosse is.
Yeah. It's exclusively like northeast coast of the United States.
It's all frat
would be
boys.
like, yeah. Who,
You
probably are not
that new
owners of
Lax.
Nintendo Switches.
They could just call it Mario Lax.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could have like the Mario Kart where you pick your wheels and your cart and everything. Where it'd be like you pick your stick and the net that goes in it.
Dude, that's like the most fun part about lacrosse is like shopping for different parts online. That was my favorite, was just reading reviews. Did you ever get into a phase where you'd like get into a certain type of thing and then just like read reviews about it on Amazon or whatever?
Yep.
And like never actually buy it?
Absolutely, all the time.
Yeah, dude, it's such a great hole to get into.
Yeah.
As a kid, I would like get into Beyblades and like just read reviews about different Beyblades on like that other kids were writing on Amazon.
Like, wow, if I was going to commit to a hobby, this would be the hobby, and I would do this.
Well, they would like be reviewing ones that like were so rare that you couldn't find in stores, and I'd be like, man, if only I had this one that everyone says isn't even good, it would be sick. Or if I would have like a rare one, I'd be like, fuck yeah, this is a good rare one that I have, and I'm going to be the best Beyblader ever. Then I never would like do it. Like I wouldn't like go to competitions or anything like that. I would just play by myself because I was an only child.
Whoops.
Or like I had like because people know I'm into like collecting cards for like, Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. And I had a Magic the Gathering phase. And the thing, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Pokemon, I don't do this at all because I think the card game for Pokemon is just weird and stupid and doesn't make sense. But like for Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic, I just collect the cards and then like I would make decks for fun and then do nothing with them.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't play against myself. I wouldn't like have friends over to play because like I didn't have friends. I still do this too, where I'll just buy cards and be like, oh, I'm going to go through my entire collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I've had for over a decade and just make a deck for fun.
Yeah, what if?
It's very insane.
That's fine.
I did go to one Magic the Gathering event.
And there's a lot of people that like you have not showered for 4 days.
Yeah, but they had I was like the coolest person there, which is not a great bar. And I also didn't do very well. It wasn't one where you like make your own deck and like take it there. You like are given a bunch of packs of cards and then you just sort of assemble a deck with what you're given.
Interesting.
So like my friend who went with me got like a really strong card that he could build a deck around, and I just got like a bunch of junk. And he like ended up getting second in the whole thing, and I was knocked out really early, and I was like, cool. This is
nice.
A fair experience. I felt like my skill was really really tested here. Thanks.
Well, if they let you bring your own deck, it's just like a pay to win thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's either getting lucky with the cards that you're given, or how big of a wallet you have, and like, can you afford the Black Lotus or whatever?
Yeah,
which is an old out of print card that I think is very expensive.
Isn't that like banned at tournaments?
I think it depends on the format.
All right, that's fine. I know very little about Magic Gathering or otherwise. You ever feel like we're in a simulation? You want to get into that conversation?
Martin does.
He absolutely does.
He posted a video about that. I don't. I mean, here's the thing. I don't really think about it because I don't really care.
Yeah, like if this was a simulation,
what am I going to do about it?
Yeah, like if an alien came down and was like, "Hey, listen, this is a simulation. You're not real," and then left, I'd be like, "All right, well, I guess I'll go to work tomorrow."
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I still am stuck in this thing that's not real, and like dying would feel shitty, you know. As somebody who is suffering the effects of dehydration from not drinking water for a couple days, that's not fun.
Yeah, it's it's fine. Sometimes I feel like if I wasn't in a simulation, my projects would go better.
Sometimes I just feel like if I wasn't in a simulation, or I don't know. Sometimes I feel like if I wish I had a better brain, so I could actually stick to things.
Yeah.
Or just do stuff and not be like, oh, I'm going to play Final Fantasy 14 all day again.
Yeah. Doing stuff is a problem.
It was very funny. I finally got into the first expansion like Sunday night, which happens to be the first expansion in that game is like in Snowland, which I think is very funny that I then lived in Snowland.
Yeah,
IRL. Is it a coincidence, or did I have something to do with that? Who's to say?
Who is to say?
Yeah. I'm thinking about transing my character in Final Fantasy.
You definitely should.
It costs money, though, and I'd have to change my person's name because my person's name is a dude name.
I mean, women can have dude names.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that would be a little...
Is your character, at their core, trans?
I don't know. I just want to use the bunny girl model.
That's fair.
Because it's the new one, and I'm like, I like playing as the new races, and like the new races are gender locked. So there's like you could either be the bunny girl people.
Not very woke.
I mean, it is what it is. You could either be the girl bunnies from Final Fantasy 12, in Final Fantasy Tactics, whatever, or you could be these like beast dudes that look like furries, and I'm like, well, no. That is not for me. The bunny girls, now that I can get into.
I always play as a pixelated vixen in my video games.
It depends on the game. I'm very big on like it because like in like World of Warcraft, because I've switched from World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy 14 because I ran out of content in World of Warcraft and I got bored.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and because I have nothing else in my life going on right now, I'm like, well, I need an MMO to keep me alive. Yeah, I don't know. Like my guy's face looks fucked up because he's this like dragon dude. Because at one point I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but I've been there.
Yeah. Also, and is this sexist where I'm like, I don't want to play a healer that's also a male character? That feels wrong.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that healing is for girls.
Yeah.
Sure. Like seriously, like in any video game where you can pick to be a healer, IRL, I imagine proportionally there are more girls in the healer role than there are in the other ones. I would bet $10 on that. I don't have the statistics to show it, but I'm sure somebody did that study, or if it is done and I could be bothered to look it up, I bet I'm right.
All right. That's fine.
Whereas tanking, the most important job, that's for men.
I'm not gonna get into this. I'll be honest. I'm currently looking at $400 sweatpants.
Sick.
Or $560 jeans.
I don't.
Or $130 beanie. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
I wish I could just do laundry.
Yeah.
I've never felt well. I went camping for a couple weeks. I didn't shower the whole time, but that's kind of a different.
Yeah, that's part of the experience.
Scenario. Yeah, you're also like outside, and it's everybody's gross, but like when some people are gross and some people aren't.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
It's a freaking worldwide disaster.
It is.
The world's just going to explode. It's going to be Joe Biden's fault.
it's not going to be his fault. He's just not. He's not. I don't know. I don't think. Like, here's the thing. I don't think Bernie would have been able to get anything done either.
Well, like Joe Biden is getting stuff done.
He's doing bad stuff.
He's doing bad stuff.
He's doing stuff that people like attribute to the Republican Party for like being evil. Like evil Donald Trump things he's just either not doing anything about or just doing more of.
Yeah. What I found interesting is that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden have both gone on record very adamantly saying that the American government needs the Republican Party, and the Republican Party has never said anything about needing the Democrats. And it's because the Democrats need this like false sense of choice to make them seem like they're good. But they're not at all.
They're not. Yeah, they're not really different. I don't know. It's just to like appeal to people whose idea of politics is like
what if we bomb the Middle East, but the bombs are pink, and we ask every child soldier what their pronouns are before we kill them?
Yeah, this fixation on identity like I understand that it's important for a lot of people, but I feel like other like more impactful things like are being lost to like something that is, I think, inherently kind of superficial.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like hundreds of people are dying in cages at the border, but everyone's mad that like a celebrity said the N-word. And you're like, yeah, don't say the N-word, but like
this other thing, like no one's dying because somebody said the N-word.
You guys don't have
in isolation. You know what I mean? Like racism is bad. People die from people being racist because they, you know.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying.
Lynchings in your country last year.
Yeah, but like, at the same time, like if a celebrity, you know, 5 years ago tweeted the N-word or something, and that was, you know what I mean? It's like. No one died because of that. Especially no one died because somebody brought it up and is like, oh, we should arrest this person.
Yeah. So you guys, like, you need healthcare and you need, like, a power grid that works. And, like...
yeah, like, I need my water to be turned on right now.
Like, it just makes me think of, like, there's just a mass grave and people are like, don't fucking say the N-word. And it's like, I don't want to say the N-word, but, like...
No, it's like there's a mass grave and like people are arguing about like where in the mass grave certain bodies are being put. You know what I mean? Like how it's not fair that like
well, you're putting all the black people at the bottom of the mass grave. It's like, come on.
It's like maybe we should talk about why there's a mass grave in the first place, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
is that bad?
I don't know. I
don't, because I don't know the answer to that. Like I feel like an asshole for saying that, but it's like maybe we should focus on like making sure people have healthcare. Like maybe we should focus on.
I think people need to read the room when they're upset about stuff. Like I get upset about it too when I like
you cut out
a tweet surfaces that like Sarah Silverman did blackface on Twitter, and you're like, okay, like don't do that, but. Like also, like who cares at this point?
Yeah, it's don't do it again. Yeah, you know, like all right.
Like I do agree with what Nick said, that no one should do blackface, but from now on, like everyone is absolved from their previous blackface crimes.
Yeah, like you shouldn't have done it. Don't do it again.
It was a different. Like if you did it within the last year, yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like, there are people that did blackface to do the George Floyd challenge where they just pretend that they're getting a knee on their neck. And I'm like, okay, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like that's... you're also, it's like deliberately inflammatory, too. Like, they're doing it because people are going to be offended by it. So on some level, I'm like, getting this... like, no one's going to do that stuff if it wasn't going to be... like, that's how bullies are. Like, they're going to do something just because...
They want a reaction.
Get a reaction, yeah. Oh, so this is, I guess, kind of tied into that. And to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, The Bachelor. So, and this is like big spoiler territory. So if any of you guys give a shit and you're still listening to this very long episode that we were requested to do. So
Everybody wants a long episode.
You wanted the long episode. Here's the fucking long episode.
We're halfway through.
Whoa. You can dip out now if you really don't want to hear these Bachelor spoilers, if you're still even fucking listening. Anyway, so the current Bachelor, Matt James, is black. That's a fact.
Right. I'll allow it.
He's the first black Bachelor. I guess they've had 2 black bachelorettes, but he's the first black Bachelor. And the reason why this is relevant at all is because the person that he allegedly picks to win has had some oopsies online. And like as some backs, typically when people are on the show, like weirdos on Reddit will like just sleuth through their entire life to like find anything to cancel them for because they have nothing else to do. And it's just it's like interesting to be like, oh, like let's go through somebody's entire online history to see if they are like anti-vax or have said something racist 10 years ago or like are a Trump supporter, something like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting, debatably, valid on if these people should be canceled or not. I think also if you're going to go on reality TV, you should probably just erase everything you've ever done online to the best of your ability. Start from scratch.
Totally agreed.
But the girl who allegedly won, Rachel, she in like 2018 or something went to a formal frat, I guess, event, party, whatever you want to call it, where it's like you dress up in like antebellum South stuff and it's like kind of plantation-y dresses.
Cool.
Which frowned upon, I would say.
Yeah.
And also as an aside, the fraternity that was hosting this event is Kappa Alpha, which is like I don't know how familiar
I'm not.
You are or the audience is, but Kappa Alpha, pretty racist fraternity. They had a frat house at my school called the Plantation.
Oh, is this the frat that had to change their name from Kappa Kappa Kappa?
I don't think so.
It's what's known in the industry as a bit.
Oh, okay. I love this. This is also a bit where you make a bit and then I take it seriously, and then you're like, it's a bit. This is a recurring.
This is all part of the bit.
Yeah, this is a comedy podcast. And so she did that, and she might have like said some other stuff that was like racially insensitive online in the past. It's kind of iffy, but people are really getting her on attending this sort of not racially sensitive event. Would you say going to that party in 2018 in your little plantation dress, would you say that's racist?
I mean, 2018 is recent.
It is recent. I would say it's not a good thing to have done. Is it? I don't know where the line is for, because I'm a white guy, right? Like, I don't know exactly what. I wouldn't go to that party, and I certainly would think it's in poor taste to host it. But if you are attending it, is that racist? Yeah, kind of. But like, you could certainly be more racist.
Definitely could be more racist.
But it's, still not great. Anyway, the host
get canceled for this.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Like the host of the show, because see here now the show's in a bit of a pickle, right? Because the person who won the season with the first Black Bachelor is getting this kind of cancellation, like bad online vibe. This, the online mobs are coming for the first Black Bachelor's pick. Which there's no way they can like ignore it.
Yeah.
And so they, in my opinion, this is what happens. They're like, hey, Chris Harrison, who's the host of the show, go on the podcast hosted by the first Black Bachelorette, whose name is also Rachel Lindsay.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Just to be clear, because there's 2 Rachels and it's fucking confusing to talk about, because at least when they're written, they're spelled differently. But, you can't see what I'm saying because it's audio. That's how a podcast works. Chris Harrison's going on this podcast to basically do damage control of like, hey, like let's. And he said a lot of rude shit, and he was being very dismissive to legitimate like criticisms and problems that Rachel Lindsay had and like other people have had in general. Like he was being kind of a dick about it, but he was being put in this position of like, hey, do damage control because we can't have an online mob like fuck this up, right? Because Matt picked a racist person. And I guess he also doesn't care because he's like kind of Republican and like, it's a PR disaster that's like about to happen. And I guess he's sort of the fall guy for it now. Also, like he also just fucked up in defending it. But basically he was like, yeah, like other than being very rude, people were like, he defended her. It was like, hey, like we should let her say her thing about it. Like we should, not jump to conclusions. Like back in 2018, people didn't really know that it was bad to do that, which is, I mean, people definitely probably knew you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, being woke came out in like 2013.
Yeah, like by then you should know not to. Now, granted, it's Kappa Alpha. It was a school in the South. I don't know what the time delay is on for them. I think the national chapter of that fraternity or like the national whatever it's called, I don't fucking know, was like, don't have those parties, but like we're not going to stop you if you host it locally, but like we're not supporting it.
Yeah. I remember there was like a prom in Montgomery, Alabama or Louisiana.
That can't be great.
They had it segregated until 2009.
Yeah, like that's not ideal.
It was Charleston, Mississippi, Missouri. I don't know. It was somewhere there. It was Morgan Freeman's hometown that did it.
Ooh.
And then he did a documentary about it. Or he was like part of it. So the South. The
South's kind of fucked up.
not a great look.
They're not the most woke part of the United States. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Chris Harrison like fucked up his damage control, like. Yeah, he's now like not going to be the host. Like he's not hosting the live event. Who knows when he's going to be hosting the show again? I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think this will blow over, especially once Rachel wins, and then they're going to have to talk about, hey Matt, you're black. Did you know that she's done racist things in the past? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that to happen. That's going to be very interesting.
It's a fun time for everybody.
Yeah. But like, what's I think so weird about it is like, if she didn't win and like people didn't dig any of this stuff up, like none of this would have happened.
Yeah, she would never get in trouble for being racist if she just like didn't go on a national TV show.
Yeah.
Which, like these things are happening all the time.
Yeah. I guess that's also part of the point. It's like either you should be mad at like literally everybody who's like, I know the guy who's the president of the Kappa Alpha fraternity at my college. Like he should, and I know people who are in that fraternity as well that I was friends with, like they should all be canceled or whatever for,
like if
having a frat house called the Plantation. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. If Rachel got kicked off The Bachelor after like week 2 or whatever,
no one would have cared either.
This wouldn't have come out. Like it's only when people get something good in their life that these things come out.
Well, and I think also part of it is that the first black bachelor picked a debatably racist white girl as his bae,
Yeah.
Even if she was like third place, like no one would care. Cause like last season, the girl who was in third place was like a serial cheater and like did a White Lives Matter thing in poor taste that was like talking about Marlins, but it was like using the like Marlin the fish. It was like a fishing I don't know. It didn't really make any sense. But it was not in good taste. Like, she's a problematic individual.
Yeah, White Lives Matter is not really ever in great taste.
No. I mean, yeah, it's like doing that is like talking about a type of fish. Okay, but you're still riffing off like kind of a racist thing. So like maybe like it's like what you're saying. It's like maybe just don't do that.
Yeah. It's not good.
Needless to say, very attracted to that girl. Not because of those reasons, but just I watched this. I was like, oh God, like and then I tried to date a girl who was just like her. So whoops. And
that's what we
all know how that went. Anyways,
if you want to really know how that went, join the Patreon and get that one unreleased episode.
No, that wasn't about her. That was
but we know your mental state.
Yeah,
you got a gentle mental.
Yeah, my mental state again recently, great. I think I'm doing surprisingly very well considering just being on death's door for a little bit back there in a very physical sense. I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was a sweetie involved during this whole thing, though. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I was swiping, and a certain individual who I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, and maybe the audience might, but I'm not going to say, but you know who I'm talking about.
I can wager a guess.
They popped up on my on one of the apps again.
Okay.
And I was like, I already swiped on you ages ago. So you deleted your thing and remade it. And then her location was much closer to me than it should have been, given that I know where her house is because I've been there. Because I was invited, not because of like I was stalking her or anything. Just wanted to clear the air. But I was like, oh, did you get displaced from your home because of the storm?
So you swiped right.
So I swiped right. No, but I'm waiting for that. But I'm like, oh no, what a nightmare. If something happened, that would be so sad.
Disaster.
I'd feel so bad for you. Of course, I think that's God looking out for me.
Which he does all the time.
And I haven't checked her Twitter in a very long time, and I have had no desire to do so, even though I think it would be funny if she was complaining about being displaced from her house, which I should not be wishing this upon people, but it's already happened. So if it happened, it happened.
Or she's hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, or she's hanging out with a boy. But why would she delete her Tinder and then remake it for that? I don't know. Also, how would she be driving? I know what car she drives. It can't handle the snow very well unless she has to be somewhere. Oh, this is getting bad.
She gets picked up. Actually, she gets the star treatment. She deleted her Tinder because she thought she was going to be on The Bachelorette.
I would be so mad. I would be furious. Although I don't like the girl that's going to be the Bachelorette. Or at least is allegedly going to be the Bachelorette.
Allegedly.
She's very sex positive in a way that's annoying. Not that women being sex positive is bad, but she's like a little. It's like, come on, it's 2021 now. Like, this is played out. We get it. You like masturbating. You use sex toys. In 2017, this might have been innovative content. Come on.
A lot of rap music from women is very sex positive, which I'm for. I think it's great. But I think we also need like a female rapper who's like not just sex positive, but she's like a down bitch, like a Kim Kardashian in 2018.
Like sex positive, but like in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah, she's like
hyping up her mans. Singular.
Yeah, female rap should be about men. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, exactly. I feel like we need it. I feel like
how bad the back half of this podcast has gotten. Yeah, I just want to say I don't support Rachel from The Bachelor. Not Rachel Lindsay, who is good, but Rachel, who is racist. And I don't support Chris Harris in defending racism. Just to be clear.
I also think racism is bad. And
on this podcast, racism, we don't like it. And we don't think people should do it. But, people dying in the streets because of an environmental crisis, maybe that could be more urgent sometimes. Maybe.
Yeah.
That was the only point we were trying to make. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
For the one person still listening to this.
Yeah. I would like a woman who raps like all about riding shotgun while her man's like doing a drug deal.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm there for
the drive-by. Female rappers who are talking about doing crimes like back in the mid-aughts, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like just being an accessor to crime, Just like, look, I'll be there for the drive-by. Like, I'm not gonna hold the gat, but I'll be there. I'll ride shotgun. I'll be a getaway driver.
That's cool. Baby driver.
That would be sick. Lady driver.
Yeah. I've synthesized my opinion on sex work recently, which is somewhat similar to this, and that I am pro sex workers existing, but I am anti men paying for sex work.
Rough.
Which, does that make sense? I feel like that's almost a distinction without a difference.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Canadian laws on sex work, which don't make sense in a similar fashion.
Like you could offer sex work, but you're not allowed to pay for it.
Prostitution is legal here, but you cannot solicit it in public.
Well, it's just what apps. I mean, it's just apps and stuff, right?
I guess I don't know. I've never done it.
You were on the record for not having solicited prostitution.
I believe that you cannot do it in hotels. That's in my head for some reason.
So you have to have either go to her lovely abode or bring her to you.
Yeah.
Or him, or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. We also have an island, the Toronto Island. Perhaps you've heard about it in a Drake song. And that's where it first became legal. They're like, it's legal, but you can only do it on this island. Which is cool. It's like a 5-minute ferry from downtown to the island, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's the island that I got married on, and I think that's beautiful.
That is,
certainly
a love story.
When that came into law, that the island was cool to solicit, then it became known as Whore Island, and those were good times.
I bet.
So I'm gonna go to Whore Island. It's a sick island, actually. There's a petting zoo. There's
there's other things besides prostitution.
There's other things.
It's pretty fun.
There are music festivals there. There's a residential part of it. You can live there. There's there's some restaurants, and they have a petting zoo and a little amusement park.
I think I'm going to move to Whore Island.
Whore Island's great. You don't go to the whore part. There's no part of it that's a red light district that's all grimy. It's just a nice island.
It's a nice island, and also there are a lot of whores there.
Yeah.
And that's great.
And also it floods every couple years. So there's that. It's sometimes there's 4 feet of water on top of the island, and you're like, probably not going to go this week. But maybe you could relate to that.
Yeah, well, see, because right now I'm like, I need to live somewhere that natural disasters are. I mean, I think at this point, natural disasters are just going to keep happening everywhere, but at least somewhere that's prepared for them, which I don't think Texas ever will be. This made me kick in. Once I can buy bottled water, I'm going to be turning into the biggest prepper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you should have preppers.
Yeah, I was like, because I had prepper tendencies, but now I'm like, oh yeah, no, like this is now going to be a thing.
Yeah, you
Now
should
I
have
think now I
something.
got to get. Well, the van would have been bad. It would have been bad to have the van. Living in a van would have been rough.
If you foresaw the issue before it got too bad, you
Which
could.
technically I did.
Yeah,
I would
you're
have
just like,
hightailed it to New Mexico.
it's not worth doing anything yet. Um, yeah, that's fine. I I would like to have preps. I used to have a bug out bag, as they're known, but like nothing happens here, so
Yeah. My
I
mom
was
has a
just
bunch of prepper shit still at the house. I might steal that. I mean, now it's like not even. Plus, I don't have water to boil the food with,
mhm.
so I need to get
You got to
some
get
form of
the
water.
an MRE.
Yeah. I really just need water turned back on.
You're fine. This podcast will keep you in good spirits.
As I sit dehydrated,
This is a double
drinking the last,
episode, dude.
drinking the Powerade.
Yeah, this is you ignoring the healthcare issues and the disaster outside for identity politics. That's metaphorically you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really have been ignoring because it really dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I am like physically disgusting. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
a shower would be great.
You'll
So
be
yeah, if I still don't have water and you're listening to this, you live in Texas, I will cook for you if you have running water, and I will bring ingredients.
Oh wow. You're not even just gonna use their stuff.
No, I'm offering a cooked meal that of my own things that I have that I just cannot do anything
You
with because I don't have the
you're a
water to cook
good
them.
cook from what I can tell.
Yeah,
I've never
no,
tasted your food, but I've seen photographs.
it looks good.
It does look good.
And
And
who's to say
that's
how it tastes?
I mean, taste is like, what do they say, 90% visual?
I mean, I've definitely made stuff that like didn't taste as good as it looked, and I've known that like while posting it, and I just don't care. But I mean, I think a lot of it is like, if something looks good, as long as it's like has enough salt in it, it probably also tastes roughly as good as it looks. Like if you know what the different components are that make up a thing.
Yeah, like the trick to deliciousness is like garlic and salt and butter.
Yeah. No, yeah, you just put enough butter and salt in something, it's going to be good. It won't be necessarily like great or like super complex tasting, but it won't taste bad.
No. Like you ever just like your mom's cooking something, you're like, wow, what are you making? It smells so good. And it's like, it's literally just garlic. Like I just have garlic in a pan right now.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, it smells delicious.
Dude, I think I have enough stuff to make tomato soup. I might do that. But I don't have any clean bowls or anything to put it in.
You gotta get a measuring cup.
Yeah. God, dude, I fucking hate this shit. Oh, I didn't even really eat dinner last night either. Oh, yeah. No, I did. I had a Stouffer's meatloaf.
That sounds good. I love
Dude,
meatloaf.
Stouffer's meatloaf, pretty fucking good. It's less than $3. You get meatloaf, you get a little mashed potatoes, which aren't great, but they're fine for like, instant mashed potatoes you made in a microwave. Pretty good.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. That's my little culinary tip.
Yeah, just get a frozen dinner.
Get a frozen dinner.
It's a sick culinary tip.
No, but if you're going to get a frozen dinner, I recommend you get the Stouffer's meatloaf. It's pretty good. And I've had their Salisbury steak, and I've also had their fried chicken. And those are not nearly as good as the meatloaf.
Meatloaf is good, and it's highly underrated, I feel
Oh,
like.
it's very underrated. Meatloaf's one of my favorite, like, Is it American?
Probably. I mean, it is
I'm
a
going to
loaf
give it
of
to America.
It is a loaf of meat. I would be
Yeah.
surprised if it was French.
It's good. Like a good meatloaf is like really satisfying.
Yeah. It's at
It
very
can be
few
shitty.
restaurants.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones had like a crumbled blue cheese on top of the meatloaf. Oh, it was delicious. Served with some really nice mashed potatoes.
I told my wife that I love meatloaf, and she said it's a very 90s food, and I don't know what that means.
I don't even feel like it's a 90s food. I feel like it's a food that you I guess that makes sense because like probably
It's
people
probably very cheap and easy to make.
well like cuz I feel like people who were growing up in like the 50s and 60s or whatever like probably had a lot of casserole-ish things and like weird foods. I feel like meatloaf was popular then and then those people had kids and they would feed that to their kids in the 90s, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I had a
That
lot of
makes
meatloaf growing up.
I didn't, but I really like it when it's good. When it's bad, it's like pretty disgusting, but good meatloaf,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
God, I would just kill to boil some fucking water and make pasta, man. Jesus.
I made pasta last night and it sucked.
What kind of pasta?
Farfalle, the little bow ties.
Oh yeah. What kind of
Um,
sauce?
I didn't do a sauce. My trick
All
for
right.
pasta is I do a nice little a small noodle. I don't do long noodles.
Yeah.
I do a small noodle.
And butter.
Um, no butter. I
Oh.
do olive oil, broccoli, and walnuts, and it's a nice like light little pasta dish.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's very simple. It's 4 ingredients. You put a little salt on it. It's
Well,
got
if
a
you get a little
vegetable.
bit of that pasta water with the olive oil, you
Yeah,
can jostle it around and get a little emulsion going,
yeah. You gotta conserve some pasta water. So yeah,
Well, so that's why I like
normally,
doing long pasta because I just pick the pasta up from the pot and dump it in the other thing, and it carries water with it.
yeah.
So
And,
I'm
and then
lazy.
and then you throw like a little feta on top. Oof,
No, that sounds pretty good.
it
Other than
is
the
very good.
walnuts
Yeah,
thing, which I
yeah,
can't eat, but
yeah. You can't have that, but
yeah, that sounds
I mean,
nice.
you don't need the walnuts. It's good for like a nice little crunch, but it's not like a flavor thing. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of a texture thing. But last night I decided not to cook the broccoli because I was lazy, and also it was not actually last night. It was 5 in the morning. Um,
Same thing.
yeah, so I was like, I don't want to like I could microwave the broccoli, but I don't microwave stuff. So I was like, I would have to get another pot, boil some more water, put broccoli in there. Um,
What a
and like,
pain.
yeah, 5 in the morning, and then like you got to do double dishes, and it's like I'm not doing that. The broccoli is just like gonna cook when you mix it in the hot pasta.
That's like peas do that.
Yeah,
I don't think broccoli does.
yeah. So normally I cook it, but I didn't feel like it this time. And then I was like, you have raw broccoli with like a ranch dip or something. It's fine. Not really fine at all.
Yeah,
It's
uncooked broccoli is pretty disgusting.
yeah,
I
it's
guess it's good for you, but
yeah.
at what cost?
Like when you boil vegetables, I think it takes out all the nutrients.
I think
I've
it
heard
takes
that.
out a lot of them. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say all, but it's not as good as just eating it raw.
yeah. So I was like, it's probably fine. It's not good, but I made the whole box of pasta, so I have like 3 full meals of it. So
Well, I've gotten into the habit of like not making like if I make pasta, I'm never like making like I make it just for me or like me and whoever I'm making food for. And like I don't
you don't have leftovers.
I don't do leftovers because pasta's leftovers kind of sucks.
I used to not do leftovers, but I've grown accustomed to like not measuring stuff is one thing, and then also just like having food available because I so rarely cook.
Yeah. Or I'll make like a big batch of a sauce and I'll just make the pasta
Uh,
fresh.
yeah,
That's a nice system.
Yeah, that's also good. Are you like making the pasta in your garage in a giant vat like a witch?
I don't have a garage, so
It's fair.
so yeah.
If you drive around like Italian neighborhoods in the summer, there's a lot of like open garages and
Are
just
there Italian neighborhoods in Canada?
absolutely. There's tons of Italian neighborhoods. We
Are
got a
there some
little
Italian
Italy.
bays up? Are there Italian bays up there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
it sounds
welcome to
like I
come
need to
visit.
take a little visit
Yeah,
when I get my passport.
yeah. It's nice up here.
And also when there's not the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, so you look around these Italian neighborhoods, and there's just like 80-year-old Italian men with like an oar from a canoe, just like stirring a giant sauce. It's great. It's a lot of that.
I love making a big batch of like bolognese. God, now I'm just really hungry.
Yeah, we do tend to fall back onto food when we have nothing to talk
Let's
about.
talk about. Yeah, I feel like this episode's coming to a close, but it's a long episode. We did over 2 hours.
We did over 2 hours, baby. Um,
Uh,
you
got
thought
any
about like
plugs?
no, I have nothing to plug. I'm gonna come out with a new album eventually. I have a name. I have like I don't know a third of it done.
Nice. I still need to work on all of my stuff, but I'm giving myself a bit of a break,
Smart.
given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think now is an appropriate time for a little bit of a rest period.
Yeah. Maybe when I get water. And Jesus, it's going to be fucking. What blows my mind is that it's 46 degrees out right now. What pipes are frozen?
All of them.
No, they should turn it back on. Turn my water on, please. It's going to be 54 later this afternoon. It's going to be 64 tomorrow. Like, how the fuck are they going to keep the water shut off?
Aren't you supposed to run your water if they're gonna freeze because running water can't freeze?
I mean, I had mine dripping.
Yeah, you're supposed to let it drip.
You're supposed to let it drip. It's going to raise the water bill, but it's better than having a pipe explode. But
Yeah.
like people in my neighborhood had their pipes burst, so
Mhm.
they were like, "Yeah, we're going to just say like we're shutting water off for everybody." It's not like my pipes are frozen. Like they shut it off. Like mine are fine. They could turn it on right now, and I'd be doing great. But they're not going to do that because other pipes are not fine. Well, if you know which ones aren't fine, just have them shut them off in their individual apartments and then turn it on for other people so we don't
Die. Yeah. It's a little bit of identity politics, if you ask me.
Dude, it really all comes back down to identity politics. They're like, oh yeah, they're like, well, we're gonna have food trucks come in and bring discounted meals. Actually, that's going to happen soon. They're not even free. They're like discounted. I might go check that out because I'm kind of hungry. And I think they're supposed to come in like in a minute. Just to see if it's any good. Probably not, but I'll walk over there and be like, I don't want Chinese food, so bye.
Well, I have good news. Joseph Biden signed a major disaster declaration for 77 Texas counties.
Great. What does that mean?
Like less than half of Texas is getting help.
What is the help? What's there to do at this point? Once the ice is gone, people are out of their homes until all the plumbing and stuff can be repaired. But for a lot of people, it's just gonna be like, oh well, it's back to normal. Well, I guess that's what the relief is for the people that it's
not back to normal.
Yeah. Well, maybe some of those people deserve it. Maybe one of those people deserve it if my theories are correct. And maybe they don't deserve help. Or if they need help, they should come to me, and then I could save them.
Yeah,
and then we live happily ever after.
Superhero. Governor Greg Abbott requested. Governor Greg Abbott requested. He requested a state of major disaster for all 254 counties of Texas, and Joe Biden was like, "Real cool. I'm going to give you 77.
We're going to do like a third of that.
I'll do like a third." And Greg Abbott was like, "This approval is an important first step." And FEMA is like, "Look, we'll get around to doing something."
I don't know what they're going to, other than hand money to people and like.
Okay, they're going to fix broken pipes and other property damage. The declaration triggers individual and public assistance and hazard mitigation and allows eligible Texans to apply for aid for broken pipes and other property damage. So you have to be eligible and you have to apply, and they may fix a broken pipe.
Isn't that also what insurance is for? Or like, I guess if you live in a house that you're not renting, but you're also poor, then you can apply for this. Because if you're renting, like, the landlord should fix that shit, and that's on them. Or if you have insurance, that should also cover that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you also can't have homeowners insurance. It's going to be helping. I guess it helps a lot of people in like rural communities, but like, who's this going to fucking help in Austin, Texas? Nobody.
It says it's mostly for like northern Texas is in a big crisis, and they're rebuilding homes and small businesses. And also, Greg Abbott said yesterday there are no residential outages due to lack of power generation. None. Which, you know, really? I can't fact check, but sure.
Well, I think after, because like I think everybody lost power, or like a lot of people lost power because of the pricing, and like they were holding off on giving people power until the pricing stuff was worked out, or like people are going to pay more. I don't know. But like now that I think most people do have power. It was weird that we were losing power on fucking last Thursday when it was just like icy, but like there wasn't snow or anything. It was just like really cold.
Yeah. Looking at a map of Austin water outages, and it looks like 90% of Austin has no water.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know what? You know who's friggin' to blame? Theodore Cruz.
Dude, if I had the money, well, I mean, I do have the money. If I had a passport, I absolutely would have been like, you know what? Fuck it. Well, and if I didn't have my cat that I had to take care of, I would have been like, yeah, I'm flying to literally anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. I'll go to Cancun right now. That sounds fun.
I'm sure it will be fine. All right, let's wrap this up. Yeah. I'm over it at this point. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, if you tuned in for the whole thing, you get a gold sticker.
Yeah.
We'll give you a special role in the Discord server that says you're a true fan and not just a fake fan.
I will give you a free digital download of my album.
I won't give you anything. But I also have nothing to give.
Yeah, my album is
follow my Twitch because I'm so close to being able to make money off of it. It's Robinson Beat Caruso on Twitch. So give that a follow. I only need like 4 followers, I think.
You can let
me double check right now.
I
need 3 followers. I only need 3 followers now.
You gotta do a little bit of clickbait on there.
I don't know how you do clickbait on Twitch.
Yeah, good question.
I think I just need to keep streaming Fortnite because that seems to be
They pulled in a lot of 12-year-olds last night.
Yeah, dude, I was getting They just keep showing up and they like hang out for a little bit.
They just pretend to donate $1,800.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought that was a funny bit. I donated $100. I'm like, I don't have a donate button. They're like, yeah, it was a joke. I'm like, okay. Yeah. What's the gen after Gen Z? What are we calling them?
Gen dead, probably. The world's gonna just collapse.
Because those kids are fucking weird.
I mean, those kids don't exist yet, right? Do they exist?
Are
they like know. One? I think they're like one.
Well, I don't know how big generations are, right? Because if it's like if like
I feel like it's like 25 years.
If you're like 23 and that's like the top end of Gen Z, which I think is fair. I mean, maybe like 5-year-olds might be a different gen. And even then, I think generations are probably going to be changing quicker as technology goes faster. We should stop fucking talking.
We definitely should. I think it's Generation Alpha. For anyone curious, it may be Generation Alpha.
I don't like that. Well, join the Discord, follow the Twitter, follow me on Twitch and YouTube, I guess. But let's focus on Twitch right now. And maybe whenever your album comes out.
Yeah, follow me on Spotify. Will Skill.
Follow us on Spotify as well, if you can do that.
Oh, yeah. I'm also on Spotify twice. Who'd have think it? What?
All right. Well, good night.
Good